Money FM 89.3. Best of breakfast. Mind your business. Only on Money FM 89.3.
You're listening to Money FM 89.3. I'm Ahmad Akhtar, and this is Mind Your Business. Now, when was the last time you wore a uniform? Were you ever a fan of how it looked? For me, back in high school was the last time. White polo tee, black pants, and the school logo emblazoned on the front. I kind of liked the look of it, had a classy feel, made me feel like I belonged and that I wasn't alone. And fundamentally, that's what uniforms do, don't they? They give their members an identity. After all, their color and design is a symbol of how they want to be remembered and recognized by the community at large. It's also no secret, though, that work uniforms are not always well received among employees. In fact, our next guest was so turned off by how boring people looked in uniforms that he decided to drop out of school, because that's just what you do, and make work uniforms cool again. And that paid off handsomely, because in just a year he was able to make his first million. Not only did he work with global giants like Coca-Cola, Crocs, and Meta, but he was also the mastermind behind the Varsity Clothes Harvard University's bookstore in the US. So let's find out how he's redefining the impression of work uniforms. The man himself joins us in the studio. His name is Frank Yap. He's the founder of Apparel Empire. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, everybody. Hi.
Hi. First and foremost, you are wearing a Money FM t-shirt that you have custom made. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. That's right. I made for this event today.
Specifically for the show, for the program.
That's right. That's right.
Can you tell us about the process that went into making that t-shirt? I'm fascinated.
Okay, so what we do is we actually got the fabric that is in Malaysia, which is our warehouse.
Uh-huh.
So we cut the fabric, we design it, and after that we print a design that goes according to the Money FM logo. So you see there's all this green.
Yeah.
And we add in the Singapore element, which is the Singapore flyers.
Yep.
And after that, we make to the size that we think you all will be wearing.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks so much for that. Apparel Empire, what inspired this name? It sounds like a bit of a blockbuster Hollywood thriller.
So in Apparel Empire, we are actually the king of customization. So what we do is we build everything from scratch. We are actually putting boring, traditional workwear to an end. And we want to customize something that is according to our clients' requirement, the employees' needs, as well as the company's branding direction.
Okay, so you sort of did something that would scare most Asian parents. You dropped out of one of Singapore's top universities. In fact, on LinkedIn, you're actually sort of proudly describe yourself as an NTU dropout, and you exhausted your life savings to make clothes. So how did you get into this industry virtually as a newbie with no experience in design? Yeah, what inspired you to start the company?
So my entrepreneur journey starts with me actually like leaving NTU. So I dropped out of my EEE degree to start my first apparel factory in China. It is a rather roller coaster ride. And what makes me started is I feel that corporate apparel deserve better. I am actually sick and tired of the t-shirt with one logo kind of uniforms. And I felt like I can do something better. So I actually took the leap of faith to quit my degree and go all into business.
Okay, so you said you went to China. What inspired the move to China? How did you get in contact with your first contact over there, your partnership or what have you? Like, how did that all transpire? I'm very curious.
So it started off with a partnership with actually my friend.
Right.
Yeah. And over there, we started like sourcing fabrics, and we started off with like hiring sewers. Unfortunately, the partnership did not do well.
Okay.
So now I have a decision whether I want to change track or stood by my belief. So what happened is I stood by my belief and I started Apparel Empire.
Okay. Now, uniforms are a very commoditized product, right? And you're a newcomer. You came in, you crashed the party, you rise above your competition. How do you get clients to buy your stuff? Like, what's special about your stuff? Why should we buy yours and not others?
Okay, so what we do differently from others is, number one is a customization, which I did a market survey. Even countries like US, they find scarcity in suppliers like us, something that can make apparels from scratch, because what we can do is not just the clothing itself, we can actually put a logo on the button. Let's say we can do a Money FM button or Money FM zipper.
Right.
Yeah, together with the green zipper. So it became like a uniform. And that is actually our main selling point, which is because I think people, they are tired of off-the-shelf T-shirts.
Right.
So we play our role as more like a tailor, but we actually tailor to the companies.
Right. So you're an all-in-one supplier, manufacturer, and designer, but you came up against established names. Did you have to sort of undercut them or lose money to get a foot in the door? How did you make this work?
So we give them like a very good price, number one. And number two, for Apparel Empire, we work with many dealers as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there are many dealers and resellers. We sell it to them and they resell with a profit.
Right.
Yeah, so this is also how we gain our market share.
So what kind of industries do you cater to? I would like to think that, you know, the likes of the F&B industry, hospitality, healthcare, aviation, these are industries which traditionally sport uniforms. Are those the kind of clients you look at when it comes to distributing your uniforms?
Yes, that's right. So for Apparel Empire, we usually go for very labor-intensive companies.
Right.
Companies that require a lot of uniforms, for example, like cleaning companies, for example, like construction companies.
Mm-hmm.
So these are our main. And right now, actually F&B, they use a lot of uniform as well.
Okay. And how much are clients willing to pay? You know, how long does it take from start to finish to get these uniforms made for them?
Okay, we had the fastest project we did is a customized jacket that we made it within 2 weeks.
Okay. For which client?
We did it for Samsung.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is also one of it.
And what's kind of the spread here in terms of pricing? How cheap and how expensive does it get to make a uniform?
Okay, so there's a few considerating factors. We look at the fabric, we look at complexity of the apparel, as well as the lead time. The number of logos also play a huge difference. So these are all the factors that might affect the pricing.
So what is an example of pricing? Like the lowest price you can offer for a uniform versus the highest? Like some sort of examples that you can share for our listeners.
We can make the clothes less than $5.
Okay. And as high as?
We can go as high as close to $150.
$150, okay.
Yes.
Is that your ceiling? Like, what's the most expensive uniform you've ever made for a client?
I remember we did some uniforms for Nirvana.
Okay.
It was some blazer and suit that between $500 to $1,000.
Okay, so speaking of money, you invested your life savings of $30,000, all right? That's no small amount to kickstart Apparel Empire with your own factory in China. Let's go back to that moment. What was the process of setting up your own factory in China? What were some of the learnings and the failures that you can take forward and perhaps listeners can learn from if they want to set up their own factories? Okay,
so I started Apparel Empire with co-sharing a factory with somebody that doesn't do very well. Mm-hmm. So what happened in us is we didn't really go and get a factory because we only have 30,000, right? So what happened is we go and spot factories that are not doing well. So actually we speak to them whether we can rent half of it. So once we get half of it, we use their machines, we use their space.
Right.
And it really brings down our costs a lot. So my initial cost of starting a business from remembering is maybe less than 10,000. Whereas people tell me like, this is impossible, right? How can you actually start factory with just 30,000?
Right.
Yeah, so this is actually the strategy we use. And because we are a bootstrapper, so we don't have a lot of money. So what we do is we actually trade our services with them. We trade our services with them so we can use their machine for a few hours. So if anybody want to start their business from scratch or from small, they need to be able to take this kind of opportunity and try to reduce their costs as low as possible.
Right. So what are your biggest overheads and costs like right now?
Right now, our biggest overhead will be our employees.
Right. How big is your team?
Right now, we have close to 200 employees.
200 employees. Okay.
Yes.
And this has grown from just a party of one, which is yourself, to over 200.
Yes, that's right.
What kind of leader are you then? What's your business philosophy? Are you a disciplinarian, or are you sort of like to take on board ideas from your employees? What's your leadership style?
For myself, I am actually a hard fan of working hard. I always believe you work hard, you be patient. Success doesn't come easy. So my philosophy, and actually this is my motto, I also want to actually take this opportunity to share this with, maybe a young generation. Don't ask for success too quickly. My philosophy is if we can do a little bit better every single day, more than our competitors, you might not see result in one day. Across a period of time, you will definitely have a gap between them.
Are there any business leaders out there that you sort of look up to? Maybe, a Warren Buffett or an Elon Musk?
I actually have a very strong leader in me that I always look up to, and that is our founding father, Lee Kuan Yew. So when I was doing my business, when time is very rough, I always look at how he runs Singapore. So his kind of firmness, and I think I see a lot of diligence as well, and decisiveness. So I put this into my business, and I think with these values, I slowly grow myself.
All right, if we were to take a look down the horizon, let's say 5 years down the line, what would you like Apparel Empire to look like? What do you want it to represent in terms of its identity, and what's in the pipeline?
For Apparel Empire, what we want to do is we want to cater our services more to the European countries. So we are receiving quite a lot of inquiry for actually many, many years, but we do not have somebody that represent us to do the catering of the services, which I think this is a very huge opening. So what we want to do is we want to work with partners overseas to cater our customization services to them. Yeah. And on the other hand, there is a lot of companies that they are actually buying from the European companies and they are supplying to Singapore, which I think we can actually reverse that.
Right.
We can actually supply to the European countries and we can do their uniforms globally.
Any target markets you're looking at specifically in Europe?
In Europe, I think the US market. I think the US market is one that we want to enter.
Okay.
Yeah. They have always been sending us inquiries. We did quite a lot of projects with US customers. And they always give us very good reviews. Even Harvard University, they told us, wow, your service is impressive.
Yeah, it's a household name, a good one to have in your resume. Well, Frank, I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Thanks for coming on the show, and thank you for your custom-made Money FM t-shirt as well.
Sure. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Frank Yap, founder of Apparel Empire. Stay with Money FM 89.3.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.